Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Find Me in a Book, where we're going to be talking about cowboys, pop stars, some WWE people, just quite a few characters that I'm really excited about. This week, we are talking about the Rose Hill series by Elsie Silver. We've done her other series, which I can't remember. I want to say it's like Chestnut Springs, maybe. And then she has this series, and then she has, I think, another series. I'm just still pretty new to Elsie Silver. So when I saw that the third book in this series was released recently, I was like, okay, this is getting a lot of hype. Maybe I'll see what's up. And I'm going to be honest. I didn't read the first one, Wild Love. So there's Wild Love, Wild Eyes, and Wild Side. I don't know what it was, but it just didn't interest me. I was like, I can pick up things during the second one that I'll be fine. And it really was. Like these could each be a standalone because how she like describes the characters, situations, families, you pick up from it. And so I don't think I missed very much not reading the first one. And sure, I might go back and read it, but the second one just seemed way more interesting to me. And then the third one, oh, I can't wait to talk about the third one. So the first one is about, I think her name is Rosie and Ford, which Ford, he's the brother of one of the girls that's in one of the other series, like I think the Chestnut series. So she has like the famous like rock and roll dad and like the recording studio brother. This is the recording studio brother guy. So that's how they're connected that way. So Ford, his best friend is West, and West's sister is Rosie. So that book is like a best friend sister trope. And I'm sure it's really funny. Both of these books, like the second and third one, were so funny and just so heartfelt that I loved it. So the second book is about West. And there's this girl named Skyler that she has been in kind of the limelight her whole life. Like she was in pageants, like her parents forced her to just do everything. And so she's like this world famous singer now. And she's just never done anything by herself. And so at one point, she's like, you know what? I want to do something for me. Like she is like at her ends wits, basically. And so she hears about Ford and she contacts him and she kind of just shows up and the recording studio is not ready yet. And so they're like, "Hey, like you can stay with us or you can stay at the bunkhouse on West's property. It's very close by." And she's never done that. She doesn't have a driver's license. She hasn't done really anything for herself. She's never made a bed. She's never really cooked a meal. Like, really, like, very minimum things that you kind of learn growing up, she never did. And so I loved the thought and the story of her being so vulnerable. Like, she's very closed off at first because she's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And Wes is also kind of closed off because he has two kids and he's very, very protective of them. But he's also so funny and so witty and just like the type of humor that like just makes anyone comfortable. And that's what he sees. He sees a vulnerable person in Skylar that doesn't have a lot of experience. And so he's really patient. He's very slow. He's very understanding and just helps her really see the world in a whole different light. And throughout the whole book, it's kind of a slow burn, but fast enough that I didn't have any problems with it because I was just so entertained. Seems like kind of a negative towards this, but I loved seeing Skylar learn. I loved seeing her in new environments. I loved seeing her really blossom. And that's why I really I loved this book a lot. And just to see how West also opens up again. And I love that he still has a great relationship with the kids' moms. She's remarried and just like how he juggles like with the kids and he's just like he's a girl dad. He has a girl and a boy, but he's so patient with his son too, who is very like quiet and shy and just very closed off. And it's just, and also seeing the relationship with the kids and Skylar, and then it comes to a point where People find out about her being there, and so the paparazzi show up, and so she's trying to deal with that, and finally to see herself like stand up for herself to her parents is so beautiful. Like, I absolutely loved it. And I'm so glad that I read it. If you don't read any of these books except for one, if you only have time for one, I highly recommend the second one. But also the third one is perfection as well. Like, the third one is completely different. So that one is Wild Side. And the thing about Wild Side is it's like a story that I've never heard before. Like, this is like, and I mean, I've read a lot of books, but to read a story that I've never heard before, like, incredible. So there is Rhys and there's Tabitha. So Tabitha is in the same town as like West and Skyler. She becomes really good friends with Skyler and Rosie, and they've all grown up together. And Tabitha owns a restaurant, like a really nice restaurant. It does really well for itself. Her sister, growing up, really butted heads with their parents, and so they kicked her out, and so she kind of like went off the deep end. Tabitha was always there to kind of bridge the gap between her, the sister, and the parents, and still kind of like be in touch with her and really help her sister. And she took out like a loan on her house to help her sister go back into rehab, especially when her sister got pregnant. And her sister was like, okay, I need to be clean. I need to be a better person. And so she was. And then she had the baby and she moved into this new place, which Rhys is the landlord, like right next door neighbors. And so she like starts to try and live her life again, and Rhys is there. He's very supportive. He's nothing like romantic between the sister and him, and he just loves that little boy because he was in the foster care, like Rhys was in the foster care, and so he's had kind of a hard life. Like, he hasn't had anything on his own, and he doesn't want this little boy to not have a support system. And so he starts to babysit the boy when when the sister goes out, and she says that she's working, but she's really like going out and getting back into drugs, and it's rough. And the sister finds out that Rhys actually has a lot of money. He tells her he's very, very secretive about what he does for a job. I can't remember what the network is called in this book, because obviously it's not real, but it's like WWE. He's like one of the main big stars. And but he's very secretive about it. He doesn't usually tell people. And so he told the sister, and she kind of just like made fun of him. But then she put him as a guardian to her son if something were to happen, which something does happen, and the sister dies. And so when Tabitha finds out that she's not the guardian, that Rhys is, she's very, very upset, obviously. But the little boy comes and lives with her because Rhys, he's not a permanent resident. Like, this is based in Canada, and his job is in Florida, and then he just flies back when he wants to come and visit his like cabin or whatever. But once he because he's the guardian, and he's not able to stay into Canada very long, and so at one point they have to get married. It's like a marriage of convenience, just so that the little boy can stay with Tabitha in Canada while he goes back and forth. And the understanding between the two, once they realize, because Tabitha blames him because she thinks that he kicked her out, the sister out, and then Rhys doesn't like Tabitha because he thinks that she wasn't there for the sister the whole time. Like, the sister has just told lies this whole time, and so for them to really like communicate, it takes a little bit for them to communicate and really clear things up between them. But he is just the most like, oh, he's just so tender. Like, he wants to be so upfront with her. Like, he is like, oh my gosh, I have a wife. Like, he is just so like, I have this family. I love this little boy. I want to be with Tabitha. Like, and she is also very understanding. She's not a jealous person. Like, just how they communicate and how they work on it, and how they really are like, well, this isn't fake to me. And he's like, this isn't fake to me. And so they really become this married couple. And for the little boy, but also for them, like, they fall in love. And oh my gosh, just those two books just made it so perfect. And so I hope, like, circling back to the first one, I hope like one day I will read it, and I hope it's just as good. But if you don't read the first one, I highly recommend you read the second or third because they just are so solid. They're a story that you haven't really heard. I mean, with the pop star, small town, like you kind of hear that a little bit. But especially with this third one, I've never heard a story like that before. And I've never watched WWE. I don't know very much about it, but just kind of learning about it in this book as well, and seeing the support because he starts to become friends with like Tabitha's friends like West and Ford and all them, and they invite him to like a bowling league, and it's just so good. Like it's just so heartwarming, and it really is just like a little hug. And as you read these books, and I'm so excited for the fourth one because it's like a older man, so it's like his son's ex-girlfriend um, is the fourth one, and I'm so excited for it. Oh my gosh, it doesn't come out until September, but I'm so excited. Like, I think I'm gonna read the other series that Elsie Silver has because I every time that I've read her books, I've just thoroughly enjoyed them, and so I think this is it. Like I think I need to read them. You know, I'm convinced. I've convinced myself. But anyways, I hope you pick up this series. It was so good. Next week, we're going to be talking about Abby Jimenez's new book, which I have been raving about. It's so freaking good. You know that Abby Jimenez is one of my favorite authors, and it was perfect. And so I'm excited to talk about that next week. Anyways, thank you guys for subscribing, following, watching. Put in the comments if you've read this series, if you do recommend me reading the first book, and let me know your thoughts and feelings on Elsie Silver. And I'll see you next week.